Good day, YouTube. It is the last day of 2022. Yep, tomorrow is New Year's Day. New Year's Eve day today, and we are on our way back from Portland, Oregon with the red tracker. In behind, we have picked up a 2008, supposedly, in the roughest condition that you could believe a 2008 could be in. But yes, 2008 Yamaha drive 48 volt electric golf cart has certainly seen better days, but I think its better days are ahead of it, and maybe not, maybe it was never any good, I don't know. Anyway, we are dragging this thing home. The ad wasn't very good. Is this ugly box like part of it? Somebody just throw it on. I don't know, probably coming off. I don't like it at all. Looks homemade. This thing needs a complete once over. It was originally listed for $800, so I passed it up. Then I came back to it and said, you know, well, because it's an 08 and I think it would clean up, I don't think it's too damaged. You know, what's the lowest you take? You go, I'd take $600. I go, okay, I'm interested at $600. So get up there and, well, it turns out he can't make it work. He's never actually driven it. I go, well, that's a game changer, dude. I drove 2 hours this morning to come up and get this thing. Where are we at now? So he settled for $400, and we loaded it on the trailer. So here we go. So let's get this thing home. I'm probably going to immediately take it by the car wash, see how much of this rattle can paint job will just fly off at the car wash. And yeah, kind of go from there. No charger, you know, it's just what it is. It used to be red though. Maybe it will be red again. All right, let's get out of this noisy rest area and let's get home, see what the hell we got. Here we go. All right, we are here at the car wash where most of my projects start out. I hate working on them dirty. In this case, let's do a little walk around. We'll see how much of this rattle can paint we can blow off this thing. Kind of a before. Did they rattle can the pedals? Why do people have to do that? I mean, if we're gonna do it right? Or at least so it'll stick. Now we gotta fix it. That'll blow off pretty good. Oh yeah. How did that tire come to be bald? I don't know. All right, I'm gonna blast this thing off and I'll show you the results. Here we go. Well, not near enough of that paint came off. It's either gonna be a whole lot of sanding, unless one of you guys got a better idea for getting that paint off of there. Don't know. It's gonna be a lot of work. They even did the bumper. I'm not sure why it has yellow coming through, but I'll have to look at some photos. Yeah, this bed thing is definitely homemade, so we'll pull that off right away because it's ugly. I had to stop along the freeway and strap the roof down. Someone said it was flapping, the bolts are coming out of this side. So it probably wouldn't have left the cart, but there's only 3 bolts of the 8 holding it in. But the top's in good shape, so I'm glad somebody mentioned it to me. Yeah, all right, let's get this thing to the shop and see what someone has done to make this not work. All right, we are back at the barn. I had a little bit of work to finish up on this one. I put a new fuel pump and carburetor on it again. And I took it out and rode it around for a little while. So I think we got this one finally sorted out. I haven't done any videos on what I've been dealing with, but anyway, such as it is. The Toro over there, I'm gonna have to drag it out, get it all charged up and cleaned up. I'm gonna sell that one and move it on. This one we need for our little trip this summer, June. I think when we're back from our trip, I will also sell this one. And got because I kind of have a desire to build a kart, and that's kind of why I grabbed this Yamaha. It's hard to believe this thing is 20 years newer than my club car that we just looked at. 20 years. 2008 Yamaha Drive, 48 volt electric. I had a little conversation with the buyer this morning, in that I had made arrangements to be at his house, Portland, Oregon, at 9 a.m. By 9 a.m. this morning. I was there 20 minutes early, and they weren't even out of bed yet. So, and they didn't have a clear path to get this out of the garage, and just one of those deals. But I told him that I just retired yesterday, my last day yesterday. And he goes, "Oh yeah, what'd you do?" And I said, "Well, electrician. I worked for electrical contractor for 45 years since I was 14 years old." He goes, "Oh, electrical engineer." And I go, "Wow, cool." I thought to myself, well, shoot, at least the batteries would be hooked up right? Electrical engineer, right? Anyway, and then further conversations realized that this doesn't work, and he's never driven it. And I asked him, I said, "Have you driven this cart?" He goes, "No." I'm like, if it doesn't run, you should put information like that in the ad, because I drove 2 hours this morning for a golf cart that needed a bunch of work, but nothing in the ad said it didn't operate. So I was feeling a little nervous in that he did say he was electrical engineer, so some of the simple things probably aren't its issue. However, I don't think anything he said to me this morning was anywhere near the truth. Let's have a look. And I haven't moved any of this. What I did do was grab 4 10-amp battery chargers and connected them to the 4 batteries. But let's look at what we have here. I just think it's hilarious. So let's start with this cable right there that's going from positive to positive to positive. Oh my. And then this one's going from negative to negative to nowhere. Interesting. And I haven't looked at it that closely, but anyway, I put a voltmeter across what is going to the golf cart itself, this cable and that cable over there. And there's one battery worth. There's 13 volts going to the golf cart itself, which is not enough to sustain life. But what is this little 12 volt car battery in the middle all about? And it's hooked up only to the charge port. So that would be fun to plug that 48 volt charger, which I didn't get, into that 12 volt battery and see what happens. I don't know. It's going to want to charge the daylights out of it, or it'll just trip it out. So without further ado, I need to just disconnect all the cables from all these batteries and reconnect these. But I first need to determine which is positive and negative goes to the cart. I don't know which one is which, which one is actually positive. So let me look around there a little bit, but let me do this off camera, kind of sort it out. That way I can have my own little jokes to myself. I don't mean to put anybody down, but this is fun for me, I guess, to kind of sort this out. But if you run across something like this, my recommendation is unhook everything and start over. Don't try to sort it. Just unhook it and hook it back up correctly. We know this is a 48 volt golf cart. We know it's got a 48 volt controller in it. It needs 48 volt. I just want to be sure I get the polarity correct. I'll take that battery out of there. Kind of glad to have it. I have lots of little garden tractors and such. This charge port here, since I didn't get the factory charger anyway, and I'll probably just buy a modern day, like an 18 amp 48 volt smart charger, and we'll build it on board, and we'll put a 110 volt power inlet So you can just pull it in, plug your extension cord in, and everything will be happy, and we'll run with that. Condition of these batteries, I'm not sure. I assumed they were junk, but they all seem to be charging okay. I need to check water level and such. I looked at a few random and they were above the plate, so we're good there. They're maybe not full, but we'll get there. I did recently purchase a water distiller, so I need to make some water, which I haven't done yet. I haven't tried out my new machine, but we'll get to that. So let me work on these batteries for a little bit, and I'll bring you back when I have something completed. I have cable and cable ends and stuff. I can make up whatever. Should be enough cables here to put this together properly. I will just do that for now, and then if I build cables, we'll do that later. But let's just see if we can get the thing to operate and drive into the shop, get it on the lift, and we can start working on other things. How about that? All right, let me go to work. All right, I have redone the cables. I even have an extra cable. Look at that red cable over there by that battery charger. How do you end up with an extra cable? I don't know. Anyway, see the voltmeter? 50. Yeah, it's 48 volt, right? 12.5 volt nominal on batteries, right? Times 4 is 50 volts. So we got the batteries right now. They're still all hooked up to 4 battery chargers because I don't have a 48 volt. Well, actually, I do have a 48 volt charger, but it was faster for me to hook these up. He had a key crammed in there. Evidently, he kept it. The ignition switch is punched anyway. We'll have to get a new one. If I try to key, it does turn on the key, but I haven't tried to move this yet because I thought we would do it together and all be surprised. I'm thinking 85% chance it's going to roll on its own. And if it does, I'll unhook all the chargers and we'll take it for a putt. Alright. Key on. Don't run over myself. Nothing. Oh, we're in tow mode. We're in run mode now. Ooh, something clicked. I like that. It clicked again. I don't like that. Forward reverse? I don't know. Nothing. Whoa, that's reverse. I don't know. Little things are happening. I don't know about the rest of it. I think for the now, I will disconnect all the battery chargers, and so I can get a little better access to things, and we'll try and get this in the shop. If I gotta push it and winch it up, we will. All right, give me a minute. All right, I've been kind of fiddling with this thing on and off. I'll catch you up here. I obviously got it in the shop. Got it up on the lift. I had to saw this box off the back. As far as I know, they took some brackets out and welded it. I have to investigate this further, but I had to get this box off so I could get the access hatch off. And dig around in here a little bit, do some investigating. So there's a 48 volt solenoid before the controller, and it does work after I fiddled around a little bit. Okay, it functions as passing current through. It's getting to the controller. So now I need to find a wiring diagram online and see what that controller wants for a signal to do something with at 48 volts. And so anyway, it's a little bit of digging on my part, and we'll try to figure out what's up with this thing. The story is that he bought this from a neighbor who drove it over to his house, got halfway there, and said the batteries went dead. And who knows what really happened? Who knows what the last owner did with this thing? I don't know. We're getting there. I'm not sure if these batteries will take a charge, but I pulled out 4 smart trickle chargers, a couple battery tenders, and another one. And anyway, we're going to charge these things all night and see what happens. But I'm getting that solenoid to click now. So I guess I'm saying we've made a little progress, but very little progress. We got that console thing popped off there, pulled the ignition switch out, just taking it one step at a time, and then I'll have to go online and find a diagram. Again, this is my first modern cart. All the other electric vehicle type things I've had all had contactors and resistor coils, so this is all new for me, but we'll get there. That's the whole point, is to learn how to do these things, and we'll get this thing running. I was hoping I'd be driving it by now. I didn't think there'd be that much wrong with it, truthfully, but that's why we whittled on the price, get it down there, because who knows what this guy broke. So all right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll fiddle around with this thing, and wish us luck. Later. Well, guys, Happy New Year. It is the next day. Been out here, for the morning anyway, trying to diagnose what's the going on with this electrical system in this 2008 Yamaha, what do they call it, a G29 drive. Here's what I think I've come up with. So can turn the ignition switch on and turn the run tow switch on. I get power to the solenoid. Okay, let's clarify that. I get 48 volts to a ground reference and the coil. I do not get a ground here. The solenoid does not pull in. This ground connection comes only from the controller. Okay. Controller once in a while gives it a signal and it pulls that solenoid in for a few seconds and it shuts back off again. I can't see any other on the wiring diagram. There's no other source for that ground. It's from the controller only, and it's not getting it. So I used a jumper wire. I jumped it, and I can pull that solenoid in, but I get nothing from the controller. So I believe we have a bad controller, which is a real bummer. It is obviously like the second most expensive piece on the golf cart, something like that. They're in the, I think you can find them for around just under $400, and kind of goes from there. So I got a little soul searching to do. I'm going to take that thing apart and see what I can see, but pretty much it's going to need a new one. Is a golf cart worth it? I mean, as ugly as it is, yeah, I really think it is worth it, but it's sure going to cut down on the profitability when you got to put expensive parts in it like that. However, I went to purchase this thing, and the agreed price was $600, and I took it home for $400 because of the unknown, thinking, the worst case scenario, it's a computer, and I thought you could probably get one for $250, but no, I was wrong. But that's what we got to work with. That ship's already sailed, so that's what we got. So I'm not sure where this golf cart lies in the priorities of things. I have some other stuff to do with the club car, and it's the only day today that's not supposed to rain. So I am going to take it out to our local fairgrounds where they have a huge parking lot so I can drive it around. I want to drive it for a significant amount of time and make sure I have my fuel system done. So I'm going to go do that shortly. And I'm going to wrap this up, kind of piece it back together. Probably put it outside and maybe put a tarp on it. And do some research, see about a controller after I take this apart today, and go from there. Guys, appreciate you watching the video. Thumbs up on the way out the door. Maybe this thing will get seen by more than a couple hundred people. And we'll catch you guys on the next video. All right, here's a little bonus footage. I've actually pulled the controller / computer out of this thing and took the cover off to see if there was anything obvious. There was not. So I've put it back in. I thought, well, just remaking all the connections and so forth. Wonder if it's changed anything. You know, put it back in. Really, not much has changed, but a little has changed in that I have unhooked it for a while from power. It did a little bit more than it did previously. And I'm giving you a view so you can kind of see the tires. So here's what happened just by disconnecting the battery. I reconnected the battery and it kind of came to life for a few seconds. And I'm going to demonstrate it again. I have the battery unhooked. I have the key on and the run switch on. If I connect the battery, I got the back wheels blocked so I don't drive it off the lift. I actually had it go forward and backwards a few minutes ago and then just quit. So it really tells me the computer is the issue, the controller is shot, and it's not coming back. But I got a little more activity out of it by disconnecting the power from it. So I'll just slide the cable back on and just hold it there, and I'll see if I can make it drive just a little bit, just to show that that's like for sure what's wrong with it. Here we go. Cable in hand. Let me just, because I've had this switch on and off so many times, it's on. Okay. I'm going to put the switch in reverse. We should get a backup alarm and everything. Here we go. Click. Forward. Backwards. Forwards. This is more than it's done before, guys. I only got it to do this one time. Now it's doing it every time. What the world? Man, it's working. Oh my. What the heck? And now it has quit. Well, look at that. I mean, it did it for a minute or something. So I don't know. I mean, when the computer dies, it dies, right? But it's sort of coming back. I don't even know what to tell you. You just saw it. I got it to do that one time, one cycle, forwards and back. Never more than once. Of course, now I'm going to be playing with this thing for a little while. That's very interesting. Don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it likes being in under the heat. I don't know. All right, I'm going to say this is the end of the video, but if you see that there's a little video left, it means I got more to show you. So if not, I'm simply going to order a computer today, and they're not cheap. Get it coming so I can, go forward with this thing. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time or money working on the rest of it if it doesn't run or drive. All right, guys, we'll check back with you, or we'll end the video. Good day, Facebook friends. This is my 2008 Yamaha 48-volt golf cart. Picked it up yesterday. Couldn't get it to do like anything. I diagnosed it this morning with a little bit of help from internet friends, just trying little things, and pretty much convinced that the computer / controller is the problem. Right before I went to lunch, I pulled the computer out, just put it on the bench, took the lid off of it. Really nothing I could see, put it back together. Thought I'd put it back in just for fun when I got back, and hook it back up. KCO was just a little connection or some issue. And now it does a little bit more than it used to, like more than it did this morning. And I think it's just due to the fact that I disconnected power from it for a little bit. So when I put it back in, I actually got it to trip the relay and drive forward a few inches and then quit. So I disconnected power again and then hooked it back up real quick and then started playing with it. And now it will do that for 20-30 seconds, where I can run it backwards and forwards for 20 or 30 seconds before it quits, which I think really cements the fact that it is, in fact, the computer issue, because that's the only thing that would do something like that. Everything else is switches and things. So I'm going to just demonstrate that real quick. I'll connect the battery just by hand, and then I'll run the thing back and forth just a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't fall off the lift. And just to prove that that's the problem I am facing, we'll do this real quick. Got the cable in my hand. I'm just going to stick it onto the lead keys on. Run toe switches on. Here we go. Connected. It's in reverse. Going backwards. Going forward. Going backwards. Going forward. Going backwards. Going forward. Backwards. It's not going to do this forever. We're coming up to the end of its little journey when it quits working. It'd be fun if it just would like do this forever and I didn't have to buy a computer, but I don't think this can be the case. It's been disconnected for 10 minutes. Working longer than it has previously. I can do this all day. Keep working. I'm ready to take it outside, take it for a drive if it keeps this up. I'll be dang. What's happening? I got about 49.5 volts, 49 there it is, it's quit. Okay? About 49.5 volts. I even hooked the meter up while I was doing that to be sure the voltage didn't fall. It did not. That's what it's doing, then it quits. So it's computer time. Y'all agree with me? Thanks for watching. All right, another bonus video. I've jacked the rear end up to see how long it would drive forward. And what I'm getting is I'm connecting the battery just like before. I got a voltmeter on it across the 48 volt string because I wanted to be sure that I really wasn't losing battery voltage. And I'm not. I never got below 47 volts while this thing was kind of petering out. But while it's at full speed, the motor sounds good, everything sounds good, and then it just starts tapering down to the point where it's just erratic. And so here we go. We connect the battery just by hand and hit it. Here it stumbled just a little. We're 47.2 volts currently. Starting to slow. 47.1 volts. Still floored. 47.2. It's actually drawing less power. I'll shut it down. So as it started to slow, the power consumption actually became less. So I think the controller is, there's just no doubt that's what it is. So I need to get one. I just still been playing with this thing, hoping for a miracle. But, it's not going to happen. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thumbs up, please. Catch you next time. Goodbye. See if this thing will drive out of here. It'll run for 30 seconds or something. Not bad for electric. There's a burn the tires on the gravel. All right, guys, we're out of here. All right, this video is just for fun. This is this 2008 Yamaha Drive 48-volt electric golf cart I bought yesterday. Been diagnosing it today. Turns out the computer/controller is shot. I did get it to function finally, but it only works for a little while and then it just quits altogether. It leaves you completely stranded. Runs for half a minute to a minute or so. So I did drive it out of the shop and it is surprisingly snappy. It's the first 48-volt electric cart I've ever been on, but surprisingly snappy. You want to see this go? Hang on. Here we go. Very interesting. And this thing wouldn't do anything earlier, but like the computer's coming back just a little bit, not enough to be good, but come back just a little bit. It's kind of fun. All right, guys, later. Well, I have no idea how I can explain this, but I've been out driving this golf cart now for 15 minutes. I'm freezing to death and it won't stop. So earlier today it wouldn't do nothing. About noon it would go like 8 inches and then I could run it for a minute or so, and now it just works. I've been driving around in the neighborhood talking to the neighbors, trying to warm my fingers, and it just goes. How does that happen? That's crazy. It's smooth and powerful. I'm not sure how the batteries are. I've been trying to charge them a little bit, but holy smokes. You can bet I'm a happy camper right about now. Because I was on the internet for the last half hour trying to buy a controller for this thing. Evidently, I don't need one now. Woohoo! Alright. Well, I'm going to go till my fingers say frostbite is near. It's actually probably only 40 degrees out, but it feels colder than that. Windshield. And some of the bolts are missing out of the top on this thing, so it's rattling a little. Oh my gosh. I'm just thrilled to death. Alright, I'm going to drive this for a while.